You've tried everything, new routines, early mornings, midnight motivation, and for a few days, it works, then it stops, and you're left with one question: what is wrong with me? Here's the truth nobody says out loud: nothing is wrong with you, but something is broken in how you see yourself. The reason you can't stay consistent isn't discipline. It's not laziness. It's not willpower. It's your identity. And once you understand that, everything changes permanently.
Think about the last habit you tried to build. Maybe it was waking up earlier, going to the gym, reading every day. You started strong, then life happened, and you stopped. Most people blame themselves. They say, "I just don't have the discipline." But here's what the science actually shows. Research from Duke University found that 40% of your daily actions aren't decisions. They're habits. Automatic, unconscious, effortless. The people who seem disciplined, they're not fighting themselves every morning. They built a system so deeply wired into their brain that showing up feels as natural as brushing their teeth. So the question isn't, how do I get more discipline? The real question is, why does my brain keep rejecting the person I'm trying to become? Deep inside your brain, there's a structure called the basal ganglia. It doesn't think, it doesn't judge, it doesn't care about your goals. It does one thing: it encodes whatever you repeat. Every action you take consistently gets carved into this system like a groove in wood. And here's the part that will change how you see yourself forever. The basal ganglia cannot tell the difference between a good habit and a bad one. The neural pathway of someone who meditates every morning is structurally identical to the pathway of someone who reaches for their phone the moment they wake up. Same system, same mechanism, different inputs. This means your brain isn't broken. It's just been programmed by your past, not by who you want to become. And it will keep running that old program until you give it something new to encode. But here's the part most people miss. Repetition alone isn't enough. In 1957, psychologist Leon Festinger discovered something deeply unsettling. When your actions conflict with your self-image, your brain doesn't simply feel uncomfortable. It enters a state known as cognitive dissonance, a psychological tension so intense that your brain will do almost anything to escape it. And here's where it gets problematic. If somewhere deep inside you see yourself as someone who struggles, every time you succeed, your brain registers that conflict. So it quietly pulls you back. Not because you're weak, but because your brain is defending the story it believes about you. Consider this. Someone who sees themselves as a person trying to get healthy will always find a reason to skip the gym. But someone who genuinely believes, "I am someone who moves their body every day," feels something is off when they don't show up. The behavior didn't change first. The identity did. So how do you actually change your identity? Not by thinking differently, not by reading more books, not by another motivational video. You change it through evidence. Dr. Phillippa Lally at University College London ran a study tracking how habits actually form in real life. Her finding destroyed one of the most popular myths in self-help. It doesn't take 21 days. On average, it takes 66 days. And the range? 18 to 254 days, depending not on willpower, but on the complexity of the behavior and how deeply it aligns with who you believe you are. Here's what that means for you. Every time you take a small action, you cast a vote for a new version of yourself. You don't need to transform overnight. You need to become someone who shows up and collects enough evidence until your brain accepts a new truth. James Clear calls this identity-based habits. The goal isn't to run a marathon. The goal is to become someone who runs. The goal isn't to finish a book. The goal is to become someone who reads. The shift is small. The impact is permanent.
So let me ask you something. When you think about the habit you keep failing at, what do you actually believe about yourself in that area? Not what you want, what you believe. Because your actions will always follow your identity, not the other way around. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your identity. Start there. If this shifted something in how you see yourself, you already know what to do.